Hello, this is Taro again here at Sage Music. This time with part 3 of tuning a guitar. We talked about tuning the guitar now in the 2 previous videos. The first video dealt with tuning the guitar using fretted notes. Then we discovered that it's a little unwieldy to do so, and it's also a little unclean because we're dealing with fretted notes. So in the second video I introduced harmonics at the 12th fret and comparing those to the 7th fret harmonics on the adjacent string. And what all this did was creating clean intervals between the strings. Now, a problem will arise. Actually, let me just demonstrate really quick. If we do it like that, you will get things like a C major chord that's slightly out of tune. And the out of tuneness comes from the perfect fifth between the tonic C and the fifth G. This is not quite in tune. Now, why is that so? Let me demonstrate on the piano. I tune these things from time to time, and the way it's done is usually I start on the note A, but for the sake of demonstration, I'll start with the pitch C, which is located right in the middle of the keyboard. And the way I do it is, and most piano tuners do it, is going up in fifth to G. Next. Then from G up to D, from D up to A, and so forth. Always up in fifth. And if you do this over 12 times, you will end up back on the same key with which you started. C, which is theoretically now called B sharp. But if you tuned all of these fifth perfect, that is clean, you will notice that this final C has very little to do with the C with which you started. It's going to be too sharp. This is a phenomenon referred to as the Pythagorean comma. In other words, the perfect fifth is a little wider than the perfect fifth as it exists on the piano. What is done in order to avoid that the C on which you end up is too sharp, you squeeze all the fifth with which you tune each of the keys just a little bit. You squeeze it just a little bit. Not so much as to be out of tune, but enough to end up on the same pitch. Now with the guitar we have a similar, or we have an interesting problem actually. The way the frets are arranged on the fretboard is just like the keys on the piano. That is, they're equally tempered. In other words, the distance from the E open string to the 12th fret is divided into 12 exactly equal steps. This, however, is at variance with the way we tuned the strings earlier, which was clean always, right? Tune these clean. So, what do you have to do? It's fairly easy. Let me just demonstrate. So we're going to tune this fifth clean. Like this. Now we have a clean C major chord. But then you play an A major chord and you notice that this is out of whack now. Where's the problem? It's between the same 2 strings. The fifth string and the 3rd string, the ones that I compared for the C, G, fifth. Now to clean this up, I would have to raise the 3rd string again, like this. So what we're going to do, what I recommend you do is, if you're playing, for example, a piece in C, tune that fifth just clean enough as to be tolerable, but maybe leave a little bit of slack so that the A major chord, or A minor chord, it's probably more likely in C major, is also tolerable. So here we are equal tempering the guitar, which luckily enough on the guitar is fairly easy. And just the same procedure, for example, just as another example, would be in D major. out of tune. After we tune the E and the B clean, like this, you'll notice that 4th string open D compared to the 3rd fret 2nd string D is out of tune. So here again, same procedure. You want to flatten the B string a little bit and get that clean if you're playing a piece in D, but not perfectly clean, perhaps just in case you have a E major chord somewhere in the piece. So much for tuning the guitar. Thank you very much.